right. Good evening, everybody. Way late evening. Sorry. Late tonight. I know. Did so good. You guys got spoiled. It was on early last night thanks to Trump. But, things happen. And back to the late night. But hope you guys can handle it. Hope you guys can enjoy it. Just put it on, listen. I don't care. Whatever you got to do. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. Oh, man, do we have a lot to talk about tonight. I was surprised. It was kind of a slow news day. And then Twitter erupted. And so we're going to have some fun. We're going to go through some of the backlash and results of the State of the Union last night, because my God, it was still the greatest State of the Union I've ever seen. And everything I've saw today just kind of keeps confirming that. We're going to show how the results, what's happening as a result of that, how Trump is already delivering on promises and being proven right. So just excellent, exciting stuff there. The awakening's happening, man. They're just, they had no idea. They had no idea like what they were getting into with all this, because what is going on with my video here? My bad. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on a second. This is bothering me. This is really bothering me. My hand's getting cut off. Anyways. All right. Sorry about that. I just saw that. And then we have this crazy situation in Cuba we're going to talk about, because this boat blown up in Cuba, American boat. What is going on there? We have some new Epstein revelations, a couple other small stories. And then, I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but we have to. Some of you aren't going to like it. But Candace Owens is back with her new grift. And I wasn't going to talk about it until it blew things up. So there's a couple of things we got to address, because it is all out. And I do not think, folks, it's coincidental that it came out the day after the State of the Union. So we're going to get through that. You just like, the old Q post said, man, you can't just tell people, you got to show them. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to show them just like Trump showed us last night. But before we get started, folks, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you for watching. Members, shout out to you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Anybody else that wants to support the channel, jump in that description, hit that Patreon link, get a free month. See if you like what's in there, especially the Discord, members lives, members podcasts. If you enjoy all that, it's only $5 a month after, and you get to be a part of the best community online. Let me say hey to the Chizat, and then we're going to get going. Pat M, what's going on? Big B, numero uno tonight. Wago Waco, what's up? AJ Trader, Frank Anastasio, Barefoot DC, Eric Brumball winning. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Alice Fordham, Candace Morrison, Tammy Anderson, Cool Beans, Tokram, what's up, brother? Lochtefeld, Cindy Lou. We'll talk about that later. Kim Wiley, Cat Sink, what's up? You like my song, Toe? Alan Krantz, brother, how are you doing? Did you get good news, man? How's your MRI? Candace, did I say hey to you already? I think I did. Nick Majors, what's up? Fro Girl, lock up. What's up, man? Good to see you, my friend. And Michael Tucker, it's the place to be, ain't it? All right, guys. Hey, everybody enjoy that last night. I thought after Trump's speech last night, man, I couldn't sleep. I was so amped. There was so much good energy. It was so beyond what I expected, what I'd hoped for. It was just so perfect. We don't get a lot of moments like that. You know what I mean? So I went to bed even listening about it. Been stuff all day today, and you know what? It's so delightful. We just got to relive. We just got to relive one part right now, because again, you can't just show people. Can't just tell people. You got to show them. And I gotta say, this showed a lot of people lost of. Everybody was talking about this today. It was so incredibly effective. So let's watch it again. How about we just take a second and watch one of the most masterful things Trump's ever done. In fact, Glenn Beck, of all people, I didn't listen to his whole show. I don't listen to Glenn's whole show, but I like his clips sometimes. And Glenn, oh boy, said that this was the most impressive thing he's seen a president do in a speech since Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall." Now, I don't know if I'll go there, but I will say that's the kind of thing this has done. So, what's up, Rum Dog, Zach Butterfield, Jerry D, what's up? Good to see you guys. All right, let's just relive this real quick because it was just that perfect, and perfection needs to marinate a little bit, right?
So tonight I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle.
Look at this guy.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
I'm still shocked by this. How stupid are these people on the left here sitting down? The more I thought about it's just like,
the first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
For them, and then Trump just like waving to him. He knew it. He knew it the whole time. As I sat thinking about this today, it becomes more and more impressive the more you think about it. Because let's just go back to them sitting. Where's the big pan of them sitting? Okay. Think about this. The Democrats had a chance to one-up Trump here, because if he did this and it backfired, they would have gotten some clout. And Trump would have played it off. It wouldn't have hurt Trump, but it wouldn't have hurt them. Okay, because Trump could have been like, see, even they can't disagree, right? But they're so stupid. And Trump knew it. He knew it. He just knew they wouldn't stand up for this. This is the easiest win ever. And they hated him so much. I think they were blindsided by it, and then they got caught sitting, and then they couldn't get back up. I think that's what it was. So I'm just telling you, this is a moment. It's a huge moment that everyone's talking about, and I was listening to I watched Asmongold a little bit. For those who don't know, he's the world's #1 streamer who just talks about stuff and occasionally games, but he's the #1 in the world, most watched in the world. He's talking about this, so that's crazy reach. Every conservative one was talking about it. Democrats were all trying to defend it today and try to spin it. So this was a moment. This is a moment that matters. All right. And this is CBS reporting. Among speech watchers, 75% approval. It doesn't get higher than that, guys. Now, more Republicans probably watch than Democrats. So you would probably, if it was 50-50 with independents, this would probably be closer to like 63 to 65. But still, in our hyper partisan world, to get these numbers, that's crazy. That's how effective this speech was. Things are going to change as a result. And it doesn't hurt when this is our enemy. This was the event, and this is not AI. I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. Nope. This is the actual event they were holding as counter programming during the State of the Union.
I'm a mother. I'm a physician, and I have a flag.
Defiance.org, State of the Swamp.
And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District.
Big.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Look at this. Look at all the green in the crowd.
And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
Oh my God. This, I mean, this is the other side. This is what they came with. That and data at the end of last night. Data, or actually Data and Independence Day came out. Dr. Oknu, or whatever his name is, in Independence Day, spoke to us last night with the dead eyes. But my God, folks, what a display. People looking on the Democratic side. Like, if you're looking for an alternative last night, you got this, you got CIA dead-eye data, and if you were watching the speech, you got your own people saying that they won't put you first. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. So my point is, this isn't supposed to be hard, okay? This shouldn't be hard. We have everything in our favor. So when you realize that this is still what we're dealing with on the other side of things, that this is the best they got, it makes a lot more sense why they're going all out with the psyops, trying to divide MAGA from within. Whether it's Epstein, whether it's influencer nonsense, whether it's the Israel tards, and all of it has like a modicum of truth. That's how they do a psyop. It's like the devil when he comes to you. He doesn't just outright lie to your face and you're like, yeah, that's not true. No, he comes in with a little bit of a truth, and then he takes stuff out of context, and then he plants a seed of doubt or a seed of fear, or just an outright like a lie, but it's subtle. And then it gets in you, and it builds, and that's how. And then ultimately you fail. Ultimately you fall apart. That's what they're doing, because the opposition is a joke. The opposition isn't even real right now. The only chance the people at the top have, for years we had this uniparty, and it was one side or the other. It was moderates here, come to the middle, and then they just slowly tick us left a little bit more, like frogs in boiling water. Hope we wouldn't notice. The culture just got a little more left. They were in control of it. And they had it masterfully planned out. And we were just slowly moving along. And some of us were noticing and just like, this isn't right. But the rest of culture, it was such a slow boil. There's enough people who just weren't noticing. And then they went for it. They started pushing harder. So the pushback came back. They stopped. They said, okay. But at some point they got to go for it. And right before they really went for it, Obama was laying the seeds, and it was going to be Hillary who was going to finally tip it over, because Hillary already knew she was hated. She didn't care about being liked. She was a woman on a mission. And then Trump beat her. And when Trump beat her, it snapped us all out of our stupor. And by us, I don't mean like all of us. Some of us were mostly awake. But it snapped us out of it, and we all said, oh my God, look how far we've fallen. And then the real pushback came. And that's why they unleashed COVID. But since then, the Democrats have been on full display, and we've seen exactly who they are after they kind of hit it for the most part for years and years and years. But they've had to go all out, because once they're exposed, they just gotta go for it now. So that's why we're seeing them being so insane. This is crazy. Transitioning kids is crazy. Sitting down when you make a statement that we put Americans first over illegal immigrants is crazy. They have legitimately lost their minds. They already had them lost, but now it's on full display, and they're unashamed about it. And their base is just going to stick it out because they've been psyoped into believing everything else is evil. Trump is basically, like, if you just put his policies up, for all the world to see and combine, and we took all personality out of it. We took all timing out of it. Trump is closer in policy, just policy alone, closer in policy to Clinton than he was to Reagan. Isn't that a wild thought? I'm saying you remove all conspiracy, everything. I'm just saying strict policy. But he's moderate. He's super moderate. But he's populist. And he's conservative in all the things that matter most. And he's moderate in all the things that kind of make you think maybe we should have been closer to this all along. You know, no war. That's actually a moderate position. That was never the Republican position. So it's crazy, but he navigates that so well, but it's the personality, and it's because the left has gone so crazy that all of a sudden Trump is far right. But look how far they've gone, guys. And this is why these aren't the people we worry about. This isn't why why we could lose. This isn't why they're worried about the midterms, because you put this on an ad, you put the State of the Union on an ad, it's over. You should win that election 60 points. You should win 49 states in that. The Senate should be 65 seats. In the House, we win 375 seats. That's what it would be if it really just was, in this day and age, Republican versus Democrat. But it's not. There's something much deeper and more sinister going on at the top. Not that this isn't gross and sinister, but it's also so stupid and outwardly insane that it's not really a threat. What's the threat is what's trying to get us there. And we're going to talk about those operations here in a little bit. But first, let's talk about some of the wins and how Trump was absolutely telling us the truth. And that this momentum we're getting is so incredible. Look at this wild stat today. I just had to share this because this is so funny. It says ICE deported 3% of New Orleans in a month. Here's ICE in New Orleans. The month of January, ICE New Orleans was on fire. 2,700 arrests. Almost 11,000 deportations, guys, in 1 month. Like he said, 11,000 deported. That could be 3% of New Orleans. Oh, there's no mass deportations going on. Guys, that's one city in a small, less populous state. Yeah. We're talking like Louisiana's population is probably like 30th. It's one of the lower states. And yet ICE, whatever's been taken there, ICE is in all 50 states. That is a wild number. Guys, that is a mass deportation. You might, some people are like, there's no mass deportations going on because we didn't hit 20 million in year one. I mean, they don't even think about what it takes to do all this. But 11,000 in 1 month, that is crazy. And then last night, we had Trump appoint J.D. Vance as the new czar of fraud or cabinet of fraud, whatever they called him. But his whole job now is to go after the fraud in the U.S. Well, it didn't take long, because today JD and Mehmet Oz came out and they announced they're withholding $260 million in Medicaid funds from the state of Minnesota. That's huge. But even bigger, they also announced that they're putting a moratorium for 6 months on certain medical providers and services, especially I believe it has to do with like prosthodontics. That is huge. And it's going to tie up billions and billions of dollars. They found that there were more of these medical centers in South Florida than there were McDonald's. That's how much fraud there were. So much fraud that J.D. Vance came out and said, we can't just shut it down in one state because they'll move to the next state. We have to shut it down nationwide for 6 months. That's how much fraud we're dealing with, people. Isn't that wild? So get ready. I mean, this is happening. These are real things they're putting in place, coming out with big announcements. And, you know, last year when Doge was going on, remember everybody was like, Doge is going to, Elon was like, Doge will uncover $1 trillion. And then it was like this big disappointment. Even though Doge was doing all this stuff, people were like, we didn't get it done. Doge failed. Trump failed with Doge. Did he though? Because think about it this way. Everybody expected when Trump came in to like snap his fingers and in 4 weeks it was all going to be great. I just don't understand that. We've talked about this many times though, so I don't need to reiterate how stupid it is to think that 1 year in we'd be done. But some people are holding Trump accountable to that. It's insane, but whatever. Progress is what matters. Do you really think this would be happening without Doge? Without those guys going into the computers and the books and everything? Absolutely not. I know that Congress didn't pass all the rescissions. They didn't pass all the rescissions we wanted, which is cutting stuff out of the bills. But we did get rid of NPR, PBS. We got billions out. But this, guys, is what really mattered. So, but to do this, because we're dealing with Medicaid, like people's medical, Social Security. When you're getting into the benefits, people get real touchy real fast. Because remember, you can't tell them, you have to show them. So if Doge uncovered all this, it's not like immediately you could go out and be like, we're cutting this in Medicaid, we're cutting this in Social Security, we're cutting this on SNAP benefits. No. Because people will the Democrats could use that immediately. People want to understand. You have to show them. And so now we've seen the fraud exposed in Minnesota. We're seeing it in California. We're seeing it in Florida. We're knowing it's nationwide. People are starting to get angry. And now they can start moving on it. Now, I'll tell you right now, this is likely to be shut down by a judge. There's going to probably be some leftist judge who comes out and shuts this down, but the Supreme Court will have to overturn it just like they've done so many other things. And that's one of the areas the Supreme Court's been good on. Let's hope that continues. But this is exciting. And since they're doing it literally the day after the State of the Union, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of this coming really soon. Next, Trump was talking about the economy. And here's just an example of what's happening in the economy. This guy writes from Freight Alley. So he's he watches transport, trucking. Says, this is what early signs of a manufacturing renaissance looks like. See, none of this is lies, guys. It's all happening. Flatbeds on fire, surging to all-time highs. Van and reefer freight stay strong, but not seeing the same surge we've seen in flatbeds, but still rising. Look at this. Flatbed, just... This is very good. Very good news. The economy is waking up. The truckers are one of the first signals of what's coming. If David's in here, David or John, man, you guys know. We got truckers who watch this show. But it's increasing. This is excellent. Let's keep this going. But guys, it's turning around. The real stuff's turning around. So think about it this way. Why did Trump look so relaxed in that State of the Union? He trapped the Democrats. He just went through since it really started last summer. So if you go back to last summer and you go to July, that's when the Epstein stuff first started. And then you get into the fall, we had the shutdown. Then we had the Epstein files released, the first pack, the votes. It was nonstop psyop and discouragement campaign nonstop. The affordability stuff, the healthcare stuff, just hammering Trump, hammering him everywhere. Even in MAGA influencers turning on him, showing their true colors, just again after again. Then we had a little breath of fresh air with the Venezuela operation because it was so clean. And then Davos, which was just exciting to see Trump just flipping off the EU. But then we came back and then the Minnesota thing happened. And so out of the last 7 months or so, it was like 90 to 95% just crushing press, where they wouldn't cover anything good, where they were focused on all the hard stuff. And there was hard stuff, but it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just hard because it was nonstop conflict. And because the Democrats, the left owns the media, the deep state owns the media, and they have plants on our side who are just using that opportunity to doom and blackpill. People are getting thrown off. Trump's approval's going down. Just hammering it. And then we got through it all, and things are just improving behind the scenes. And then Trump gives this speech last night where he's comfy AF, just chill. And he just reminds the whole world how insane these people are. Kind of wakes us all up out of our stupor. Be like, what were we thinking? We can't vote for these people. And then we get a little more clarity. And this is all like, oh, hey, look at this. Things aren't so bad. On top of that, we're getting more justice. There's this massive exposure going on in California right now in the school system. Child abuse, sexual abuse of children, of kids in school. And today the FBI, remember Kash Patel? They just went after him this weekend. The FBI is not doing anything. There's no arrest. Really? Today, video released FBI raiding the home of Los Angeles school superintendent. Search warrant executed in his home and the LA school's headquarters. District recently misplaced $76 million in taxpayer funds, falsified student attendance records. He was an illegal alien. They're busting this up, and I got to tell you, this is what they're saying on the outside. I have a feeling this is going to also be an investigation on the sexual abuse stuff, because the Trump administration is cracking down on this hard. So we're seeing all this stuff happening. We're getting justice. We're getting an improved economy. The mass deportations are actually happening. Trump is fulfilling all of his promises. It's happening. Whether you like the speed of it or not, it's happening. He's kicking butt in foreign policy. We're taking out Mexico. We don't know what's going to happen in Iran, but I got to tell you, we can trust in it. And so, just with all of this going on, guess who comes back? You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. The day after the State of the Union, here comes Candace with her new expose on Erika Kirk to try and disrupt MAGA all over again. Now, somebody put this together. We're going to start with this little video because I just find it freaking hilarious. But here's a little preview of kind of what Candace is talking about today.
I know all you guys want to know what happened during my meeting with Erika, so here it goes. We met in Nashville because I didn't want to fly anywhere and have my plane shut down by Israel, so I told her to come here instead. She gets here, and first thing she does is she gives me some homemade cookies. And I'm like, bitch, I ain't eating those poison chocolate chip cookies. She tried to poison me. Anyway, I'm still alive after almost dying from the poisoned Israeli cookies, and we start talking. Then you're not going to believe what happened next. The waiter asks us if we want something to drink, but he's wearing the Star of David. So I'm like, I ain't about to drink no poisons lemonade from you, you Mossad agent. So anyway, I almost die again from Israeli lemonade poisoning. And Erika is like, I'll just have some water, please, which is obviously code for, you better kill this bitch right now. Am I right? So we talk, and she tells me I'm acting crazy or whatever. So I asked her to show me pictures of her of when she was younger. And she's like, why? So I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't have any. So I just discovered she's actually a man, and I'm now talking to this man who is probably an Israeli spy sent here to kill me. So I get up, I go to the bathroom, I dig a hole under the shitter like El Chapo, and I finally made it back to tell you guys the story and get paid millions by YouTube to keep you guys stupid and against Trump and Turning Point, because I'm just a piece of shit like that. Anyway, thank you for your views, retards.
How fantastic is that? That is the best. That's exactly. That was clearly AI. Okay, I just in case anybody was fooled by it, I gotta tell you, it was good. It was pretty good. You could just notice a couple times the mouth wasn't right, but just fantastic stuff, and just absolutely hilarious. But unfortunately, her coming back isn't as funny as that, because this woman is a terror. She is using her power, which is pretty vast. She's lost a lot from the last psyop that she ran, because people finally, they got tired of the lies being exposed. They're like, dude, seriously? Another thing you said that you're undoing, another thing you said just got disproved so easily. You're backtracking again. They got tired of it. So Candace went and she hid, and she put together her new push, her new series on how she's going to prove that Erika Kirk is not who she says she is. So that launched today, the day after the State of the Union, the day after Candace had Erika Kirk there with Trump. I'm sorry, but this is not coincidental timing. It's just not. Somebody up there knows, whether it's just Candace grifting and choosing her time, or somebody's controlling her. Remember, her husband is the son of a House of Lords member who has ties to MI6. Yeah, MI6, City of London. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. It gets more and more obvious by the day. So, of course, going back to last week, remember? Tariffs, assassination attempt, just so many things. We covered it the other day. It just ramped up against the Trump administration since last week. All City of London, all the globalist cabal going all out, slow them down. And then the day after the State of the Union, when MAGA is riding high, when MAGA is like, that was a good night. That's what we needed. A little shot in the arm, a little injection. Remember what we're doing. Remember how bad the other side is. Remember, like, this guy we voted for. That's the man I voted for. This awesome guy. Like Trump, what a badass. Just crushing it. What a leader. What an incredible speech. We are riding high. And then she comes out with this. And right after she comes out, a bunch of people are mad, calling her out for it. I can't believe you're doing this. And so it starts. The whole grifting campaign, all of them working together. And this rumor spreads by this guy who's a total fraud. I don't know if any of you guys follow this guy. He's 1 million followers on X. He is such a fraud. Simon Godek. I've never seen a video of his or anything. He's just big on X. But man, he's awful. He's awful. I used to follow him, and then I caught him in some stuff, and so I stopped following him about 6 months ago. He's terrible. But today he comes out and spreads this. These are the people paid to call Candace Owens evil or demon, whatever you think of her, smearing for blah, blah, blah. And he posts all these people who have been calling out Candace. Cat Turd. I'll tell you what about Cat Turd. I don't always agree with him. He's a little too... Okay, so like I'm a huge Trump guy. You guys know this. I trust Trump. But I do it because of the receipts. Someone like Cat Turd is just all in, and sometimes he says some dumb stuff. I just don't think he actually does the work. And that's okay. He made it big anyways. He's funny, he's interesting, but you can't tell me he's not loyal. but I don't think he's controlled at all. Graham Allen, Gunther Eagleman. Gunther's kind of a bot, but whatever. Bongino, Laura Loomer. I have my thoughts about her, but Rubin, Ben Shapiro. So they lump all these in together. Some of them legit, some of them neoconish, but whatever. They all hate. It's like the Israel-controlled ones hate Candace because she hates Israel, but the real people hate her too. And that's kind of the great psyop going on, because this is how you conquer and divide. You get the people who are like controlled on one side to fight with these other people. It's all a show. But the real people get caught up in it too. And so then they get lumped in. So it's like now we have Cat Turd lumped in with Ben Shapiro. Now he's an Israel guy. So you see how they do it. It's very smart. It's very sinister and gross. But regardless, there's no receipts here. It's just they called her evil and a demon when the release came out. Well, guess what? I did too. I'm not getting paid. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people did this. Oh my God. Are you serious? We got a retard in the chat calling me a Jew. Hey buddy, this honker right here. Yeah. I am 100% Austrian Scottish, 50-50. This is Austrian, whether you like it or not. You're probably a neo-Nazi, so you probably like it. But anyways, I love when people call me Jewish because of my nose. Nope, there's not an ounce of Jewish blood in me. But I'm also not an Israel tard who thinks Israel's controlling the world, because I'm not retarded. Anyways, but calling all these out, but no receipts. No receipts at all. But this is spreading like wildfire. It's everywhere. Call out like the Candace stuff, like stop it. Oh, Candace, they can't handle it. Well, meanwhile, 6 months ago, you said I could look kind of MEGA. What did you think, dude? Come on. What did you think? Like, come on. I'm not stupid. I know what you meant. This is spreading all over the place. Even after about 6 months ago, we kind of gotten past the whole Candace thing. Like, she'd blown up. Tim Pool was calling her out. The Quartering was doing stuff. Everybody got tired of her because she just failed time and time again to provide receipts, caught in so many lies. But now she comes back with this, and all of a sudden the machine's in motion. Oh, you can't go against Candace, or you're controlled opposition. So they start this total fake crap just spreading. Well, thankfully, we got people who actually do good journalistic work. Don Luker is one of them. He found it's confirmed this document accusing Cat Turd of conservatives being paid 100% fake. Careers listed denied, demanding proof, but zero proof of any single one of them being paid. They couldn't provide one receipt. Now there's this other influencer, Matthew something, I forget his name. He's huge, but he's a total fraud. He said he started this by saying, I was offered to be paid to go against Candace today. And that's what started it all. But what happened is a lot of these people like Cat Turd start saying, we're going to sue you guys. We're going to sue you for slander. And so it started disappearing. Started shutting up real quick. They started backtracking. That's always the way you know. Okay. So then we get Shogun here, who does great work. He watched the whole video. Thank God he did, because I wasn't going to watch it. And so he's going to break us down what this big bombshell video is. Now, I got to tell you, okay? All right, mama, I'm going to give you another chance, okay? But I get a lot of bots in here and trolls talking that crap, and so I don't take it. But I'll give you another chance if you'd be cool. And I won't block you. This huge video. I saw people I respect, friends of mine, reposting this video, being like, these are amazing. These are amazing, guys. It's so cool. Like, wow, look what she got on Erika. And there's stuff like she claims that Erika's parents divorced like 2 days after she was born. It's like, but she doesn't show the receipts. She shows pictures of Erika as a little girl and is like, look, in one of these pictures, she's dressed like a boy, which she's not. She's dressed in like 80s girl attire that, yeah, by today's standards might be a little boyish, but Anyways, there's just nothing there. But here's the breakdown. Candace starts the show saying a woman with no experience took over TPUSA, rambles, says feds haven't told us anything that makes sense. People who say you shouldn't attack grieving widows are the same as people saying trust the science. Makes more COVID comparisons. Rants about people calling her demonic. Fumes over me pointing out who her manager is. Says now she's going to do season 2 and 3 about Erika. You understand the grift, right? You understand, like, got to keep getting those checks, Candace. Reads a post from investigative journalist trashing Erika, calling her psychopath, says Erika unified the right and left to be against her. How? See, nobody would be against Erika Kirk if it wasn't for Candace. And the reason I say that is because nobody even dared to go there. We were all looking at the assassination. Of course there's questions to be had. We know that even if Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger, which I do believe he did, he wasn't alone. We know that. This was a targeted assassination from a group. Obviously, I believe, called down City of London. But they have so many ways to get through this. This kid was radicalized on Discord, had a trans girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever they are. Yes, obviously, there was something going on here. We've seen this over and over again. MK Ultra, the kids getting there, once they get into the trans stuff, once they start eroding your identity, they get you on the SSRIs. It's like it takes away. So it puts you all this stuff in. It's obvious that this kid wasn't acting on his own. We know that. You'd be stupid to think he was, okay? Unless it's absolutely ironclad proven, which is just not even close to being doing. But to turn against Erika is the interesting part. Because there's no reason for TPUSA and Erika Kirk to want to clear out Charlie. There's just no reason. They built up TPUSA. It was the thing that helped Trump win this last huge election and win it handily. Charlie and TPUSA were changing the culture from the ground up. They were doing the work. They built an election machine better than the DNC built by Obama, which was the greatest election turnout machine ever created. Yeah, because a lot of it's fraudulent, but still there. Charlie was killing it. Charlie was just at the beginning. That doesn't add up. And I've seen all the arguments, whatever. Nobody's ever going to convince me on this unless I see like documented proof. But Candace just got out there like a week after he died and started spitting this BS. And so Erika didn't do anything to split the right. She was actually galvanizing the right with her speech at Charlie's funeral and so on and so forth. Anyway, she rambles about MK Ultra. President of France suing her. Erika lies. She doesn't know. She's not aware she's lying. This is the kind of nonsense. And I actually saw the clip where she says this. So I want to be sharing this, guys. If I didn't trust this guy, okay, I've done the work, but it's easier to trust to just use this as an outline. She actually says that. She says Erika's lying, but might not know she's lying. Do you know how stupid that sounds? How insane that sounds? And I get it. Like, MK Ultra, all that. Oh, fine. But these people, when they're MK Ultra'd, when they're in that place, they don't get up there and make speeches. They don't get up there and run companies. It just doesn't happen. That's not how it is. They're kind of out of it. They're kind of like baked all the time. This isn't what they're, at best, they're Charles Manson, who is, kicking back acid all the time. He's training up his groupies. So, going after her all the time, been married. It's just gross stuff. But all of it is connecting dots that don't really connect. And then the rest of it's hearsay. Brings up Project Looking Glass. You see how she's just throwing crap against the wall, seeing what will stick? But she's also, by throwing all, I can't even go through all this, by throwing it all out there, she's allowing herself that if something hits, like she could be like, I told you guys, because she literally just threw everything out there. And then Candace does what she always does at the end. I'm just asking questions. I might not actually, none of this might be true, but, she's covering her bases because she doesn't want to get sued. And, it is what it is. But like, if this was a more credible person, I could maybe get to that. But the problem is Candace Owens is not a credible person. She doesn't have a credible past. She's got, and I'm going to show you guys in a minute. I've done videos on this, but I'm going to bring it back up just to remind everybody. But Candace, of all people, actually has motive for destroying TPUSA and Erika Kirk. Far more motive that we actually know of because we have receipts on it than the motive that's claimed for Erika to be behind Charlie dying. That's just the facts. That is the facts. I'll remind you all, Candace was going after Charlie for a long time. 0 Hour, who does excellent work on all this. I've vetted him, but I've seen this before. This has been going around. Everybody knows this. This isn't something that one person says. This is something that everybody in the influencer world has known for years. Candace had the hots for Charlie, and he didn't choose her. 2016, Kirk was cornered by Candace in a hotel room at an event. Charlie pushed her off, said no. Ever since then, the woman rejected, stopped at nothing, marrying a guy from England to fuel her get back tour. Charlie's a man of God. Candace not of the same background. She doesn't even go to church or worship. In fact, it's believed she's even might be a Jehovah's Witness. That would explain a lot. Did you know Candace Owens' homosexual husband wanted to buy TPUSA and was turned down? Now, that is absolutely true. He was the head of TPUSA UK. Can't make this stuff up. He has made passes at Raheem Kassam and has a documented history of sexual inappropriateness with men at TPUSA and in the influencer world. And then he married Candace Owens after only 18 days of knowing each other. 18 days. You see, he is the son of a House of Lords member whose father is also got MI6 ties, and he's worth $250 million. Meanwhile, let's go back a little bit. Candace Owens she got her national stage moment was calling out her school for being mean to her for being black. In which case she sued them, and I believe she got a handy payout. I could be wrong about that. I don't remember how that one finished. But that's how her first national exposure. After that, she started a marketing company where she frequently wrote articles going after conservatives from the liberal perspective and tried to take down Trump in her youth. It wasn't until about 2017, after Trump had won and the country was clearly trending back to red, that Candace Owens had her epiphany moment and came out as the big, beautiful, black conservative, well-spoken, pretty to look at conservative. It was a quick turnaround. After that, she got involved with TPUSA, got really close to Charlie. We've seen the text. They were friends. But she could never have him. And so she found this guy who could fund her ambitions going forward so she could be independent, would no longer need to work for places like the Daily Wire. She could just be her own thing. And now she's got the grift going on strong. Then we just see weird stuff like this. This is funny. This is a joke, by the way. I was offered $1 million billion to say Candace Owens is a demon and really into girls. But it is strange. Now, maybe they're just friends. Maybe they're just friends doing sexy poses. But, I know teenagers who might do stuff like this. I don't know grown women who do pictures like this or act like
Me,
this.
Samantha. Who is it? Hey guys, it's me, Samantha. Who is this? I'm still perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute, because I'm Sammy Schwab.
Look at the way
Hey guys, it's me, Samantha.
I don't know, guys. A little weird, isn't it? Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So she's looking, I don't know. You guys, I'll leave that to you. I'm not going to make the accusation she's lesbian. I'm just going to let you guys see the receipts. But the truth is, does this look like the principled person Candace likes to present herself as? I really, Daniel says, I've seen grown women do that. Well, Daniel, we hang out in different circles. But have you seen a grown woman who absolutely just espouses this principled, disciplined life act like that? I'm gonna say no. Haven't seen that one. Hold on a second here. Let's say goodbye to that dude. Whoever that was. Just kind of blowing up the chat. No fun there. MK Ultra lesbianism. D6 says convenient married. He's gay and she. I don't know. So here's the thing. We all know she was in love with Charlie. That's well established. Okay. So she's in love with Charlie. She is spurned by him. He chooses Erika. Could Candace just be one of these people who, and this is what I actually think, I think Candace might be one of those people who just doesn't have an identity built on anything rock solid. I think she might just be one of those people who does whatever is convenient for her in the moment. So if that means hook up with a chick, hey, before she was married, this was before she was married. This was 2020. They were talking about it. If that means ruin somebody's life to make some more money, hey, why not? I think, does it mean be a liberal when it's cool to be a liberal, be a conservative when it's cool to be a conservative? Sure. Does it mean join Daily Wire when you're getting your career going and then turn around, leave them and go completely anti-Israel? Israel's the devil after you worked for one of the most prominent conservative Jews? Yeah. Everything about Candace Owens is fake. That's my point. Whether she's a lesbian or not, I don't care. The fact is, we have a history of her shape-shifting all the time. And listen, when she first came on the scene, I loved her. I didn't know about her past. She was well-spoken. She was beautiful. She was very conservative. I thought she was great for the movement. And for a time, maybe she was. But eventually, who you are comes out. And Candace is obviously not who she says she is. She might not even know who she is. She's whoever she wants to be in the moment. And right now, the moment is she's tearing apart she's not completely splitting MAGA. MAGA's way too strong for that, but she's pulling enough people away. Whether it's 500,000, couple 100,000, 1 million, she's putting enough seeds of doubt into people's mind that she is hurting the movement, and she's just soaked up all the attention. She's completely taken over X today, when we should have been having a day of celebration with Trump pushing out more what we accomplished last night, feeling that vibe, letting it spread more, letting it soak in more. And this completely took it away. Christina says, I say it makes sense why she married a homosexual, as agreement in the marriage really doesn't mean anything to her outside of procreating, staying wealthy. Absolutely. And he gets to save face, Because as a House of Lords, son of a House of Lords member who's probably old school, he probably didn't want a gay son running around. Not publicly anyways. So, of course, Candace comes out and they all start going on. Here's Ian Carroll jumping on the same thing. Ian Carroll calling out Erika, calling her retarded, bitch, slacker, and shill. Ian Carroll is awful. The guy's never had an original thought in his life. He steals all of his content. Everything he puts out is completely unoriginal. He just rides the coattails of people like Candace Owens and then finds whatever interesting stuff he can find online, spouts it out. And then when it's convenient, he goes after to try to destroy MAGA as one of those America First bras. And then we got Emerald Robinson putting this out today. First of all, we're going to break down this tweet. But you can see, guys, it's all assets deployed, because what Trump did last night was so spectacular. It was so awakening. It was so effective that today they had to go all out to soak up the energy in the room and remind us all why we need to be dooming and fighting and how we're not really America first. They had to. They came out today. This is the war we're in. It's an information war and a financial war. It's not a hot war. And the information war, folks, what Trump did last night was such a nuclear bomb on the information world that they are going all out to try to undo some of the damage. It's damage control time. Look at this. There's a group of MAGA shill accounts who told you Tucker is bad. By the way, most people still haven't gone there yet. I haven't even gone there yet. Tucker does some stuff I don't always like having Ian Carroll on. But I haven't gotten to the point yet where I think Tucker's fully gone. He was just at the White House the other day. But I have questions. Massey's a loser for releasing the Epstein files. No, that's not why Massey's a loser. Do you see what they do, though? They just lie. MTG is a loser. Well, she did quit. Candace is a demon. Do you see who she just defended? Massey, MTG, and Candace. We know these three are bad news. It's obvious. We have the receipts. It's all over the place. They attack Trump's core base by design. These grifters will have you denouncing your own mother by this week. No, it's these people who will have you denouncing your own mother by next week. You see how they project? And this is what's so insanely stupid about this. She is too dumb. Emerald Robinson, you are dumb. You are so dumb. In your own tweet, you disprove yourself. Let me show you how. The group of MAGA shill accounts apparently are attacking Trump's core base, except for Massey's attacking Trump and Trump has attacked Massey. If you're the base, the loyal base, wouldn't you follow your leader? So Trump attacks Massey. I'm going to believe Massey's bad. MTG, Trump attacked MTG and then she quit. How is it against his base to follow my leader and go after her? Candace, Trump hasn't gone after Candace directly, but he did have Erika Kirk there last night, which is a pretty big statement. Trump has shown us that we can't trust these three. He's called them out. He hates them. He's trying to make Massey lose right now. He pushed MTG out. She couldn't handle it. So she freaking quit a year early. Cost us a House seat, at least temporarily. And we all know what Candace is doing. I just spent 20 minutes on it. And she's saying the MAGA shill accounts are attacking a base. No, my friends. When you're the base, you follow the leader. Trump has been consistent. These people are the ones trying to crush it. Emerald is trying to defend these people and then says the shills are attacking Trump's base. How insane is this logic, guys? It's absolutely insane. Hey, God bless you, Alan. We'll be praying for you, brother. I hope you're feeling better. So this is what we're dealing with, though. These people aren't very smart. They aren't. They're clever, but they're not smart. Candace isn't very smart. She keeps getting caught in her own nonsense. You don't do that if you're that smart. Emerald Robinson, she got just caught in her own tweet. That's how stupid she is. Ian Carroll can't think for himself. He just can't. All these people are stupid, but they're effective. And they're effective because they have an entire platform and a whole lot of money behind them. So that when they say something, those bots fly in and the people duped by them fly in. And this, my friends, is this is our enemy. Because this right here, this is not hard to beat. It's really not. But this is where they're attacking us. And the biggest awakening that needs to happen right now. Number one, we need to continue seeing what Trump is actually accomplishing and staying on point with that. Saying, I'm hearing bad stuff. Let me actually see what's happening. Let me see the progress being made. As long as progress continues, we're winning. That's number one, because that's going to the source and that will help you stay high above all the noise. But number two, it's picking off these fools one by one, realizing who they are, seeing through their lies, and not letting them get a foothold. And if you're in the information war, which we all are, whether we like it or not, some of us fight it a lot more. I do my videos. I call out stuff on social media. But what you can do is at least know it and know why. So when somebody asks you or wants to bring it up, you can be like, well, let me tell you a little something about them. And look how Candace is doing. She's doing just fine. Rob Schneider. Who's really getting paid, Candace? Is it the people calling you a demon or is it you? This is some of the money grifting sociopath demon Candace Owens made from Utah for demonizing the grieving widow. Look at the receipts he brought. Each one of her videos, Rob did the math on what the average ad revenue is. This doesn't even include if she's getting memberships or whatever. The average ad revenue for each one of her videos, going way back, 1220, 18 grand, 15 grand, 1219, and it just goes. Look at that. Oh, look at this one. Here's when the grift started. You want to see the difference in the money she made before Charlie and after? Look at before Charlie. Not hitting double digits that much, are you, Candace? I mean, you're still making a good living. Don't get me wrong. I would love to do this. 6 grand, 5,400, 8,400, 7,200. Charlie dies. Oh, she had a good one right here, 22,000. Charlie dies. 42,000. 54,000. Oh, hey. I think I like this Charlie Kirk thing. How can I keep it going? 34,000, 27,000, and it's just been going ever since. Ever since then, she barely ever dips under 10 grand a video. I gotta tell you guys, if you're wondering who the bad guy is, there's an old saying. Follow the money, right? Follow the money. Crazy, man. Crazy. All right, let's take a break real quick while I regather. I got a couple more sections to go through, but I hope you guys are seeing it. Let me get into the chat for a second. Say hey to everybody. I had to block Mumu. I'm not sure who that was. He said we knew each other. I didn't recognize his name, but that could be because YouTube has changed how we see names, but pretty terrible. But let me say hey to you guys in here. It looks like we got a couple new people. Texas Mom, What is up? Welcome to the show. Glad to have you in the chat. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you are new and watching, please subscribe. I appreciate it. And hit that like. Let's tell YouTube you actually like this video. Like the poor guy who's not getting paid to do this content, who does it out of a desire to actually see truth get out there. And also because I love this community. Those are the two reasons I show up every night. But hey, if you support the channel and it grows, then I could do this maybe someday in my dreams full time. That would be amazing. And I wouldn't be controlled by anybody. So doing it organic, it's slower, it sucks, but it's fun. And I love doing this show. And so thank you guys. All I ask is for a like and subscribe. Trish, what's going on? She says, Dearest Ace, I came across your channel and subscribe because I'm loving your genuine heart and spirits. Trish, that means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you being here. Dirty Red, what's up? As Tocramp says, we are like family in here. This is a very special group, and I would dare say the greatest community online. We've been doing this show now. I've been doing this show, but this community has been here now for 3 years. 3 years, been building up, continually grows bigger. Some of these people have been here since the beginning. It is amazing to get to know them. And in the membership, which is only $5 a month, but it's free for the first month if you like it. In the Discord, the community, that's where it really thrives. So, but it's really great place. Trish says, if I can offer my clinical opinion as a psychologist, Candace Owens' disturbing pathology is one of pure projection. I think she's behind Charlie's death. Well, that's the stretch. We're not going to go there, but but I get what you're saying. And I agree with you. She projects a lot. Thank you, Texas Mom. It's glad to have you. Good to have you here. Hot Rod, I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. Even just every once in a while jumping in, saying, hey, I do try to get to the chat as much as I can, get your guys' comments and your questions as much as possible. We do not stand with trolls here, though. So I block frequently and often, and I'm not afraid to cut them out. So so we keep it clean in here because it is about respect, and respect. Disagreement is completely allowed. I love disagreement if respectful. What we don't handle is trolls and bots. And so that you will not find here. Anyways, feel free to fill up that chat otherwise. Daniel Frame with 5 memberships. Thank you, Daniel. That's awesome, man. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate your support. And you've been one of the good ones, man, here for a long time. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you, Linda. She says, loves the common sense. Well, I thank you for that, Linda. You know, guys, listen, before I go on the next section, I'll just say this real quick. I said it before, but I'll say it again for the newbies. Everything I do, I'm not always right. I'm just right most of the time. But it's because I do the work. And I never come without receipts. If I just have a gut feeling on something, I tell you guys. I say, this is my feeling, but I don't know. But when I feel confident in something, I will always show you guys the receipts. And that is something that I want to be different about my show than anywhere else. And some people do that. I think Tim Pool's really good about this. But I'll never, ever go into a story without showing you guys, taking you on the journey of why I'm saying what I say. And sometimes you'll need the context of previous shows because they obviously are going to build upon each other. There's just a lot of information all the time. But on this show, you'll never just get opinions without reason behind them. That's my pledge to you, because I'm just not having it. And because of that, it helps me see through the nonsense of other influencers. I can almost always spot a fraud. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, but I know the tells. And when I see the tells, I catch on real quick. So here, we don't stand for it. We're trying to make America better than ever. We are on a path of greatness. I do believe we're on our path to a golden age. I'm seeing amazing things I prayed for my whole life. They're happening now. We were given a gift and a miracle in the Trump presidency, And whatever little I can do to make sure we get there, I will do. And that's what this channel is about. So, Christina, oh, interesting. A bunch of therapists in here. MH says, let's make Cuba part of America. Cigars and beaches. I mean, a territory for sure. Is our southern border ripe for an October 7th stop type of attack? No. Our border is much too secure. And unfortunately, in Israel, it's pretty obvious. And I don't know if it's 100% proven, but everybody kind of knows it, that that Netanyahu allowed that attack to happen as an excuse to go after Gaza. So Trump won't let that happen here. So thank you, Daniel. Jake says, as someone who isn't MAGA, I really appreciate facts on my show. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jake. Hey, if somebody can watch the show and not be MAGA and still appreciate it, that's maybe the greatest compliment of all. So thank you for that, Jake. Rum Dog says, Candace seems like she was mean girl in high school or a drama queen. I bet she was probably both. You know what? I think I could tell you exactly who she was. She was the girl who was kind of quiet most of the time, kind of manipulating things behind the scenes. And as soon as you crossed her, she probably didn't confront you to your face because cowards rarely do. She probably just like organized how to destroy you from the back. Spread rumors about you, whatever. That's probably exactly who she was. So Hot Rod says, found me through the stock days. Stay silent and watch while I read the comments. Been a sub for a couple years. Thank you, Hot Rod. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing the stock stuff anymore. This is much more my wheelhouse. But it was a good way to start, and I was very passionate about it at the time. I was actually trying to take a break from politics, but guys, I tell you, I've always been political, and I just found my way back. And it's so much more fun to do the show now that I'm in my wheelhouse. So saying that. Okay. All right, let's move on. A couple things here. Cuba, there's not a lot of details on this yet, so we're not going to spend a lot of time here. But speaking of Cuba, today, a Florida registered speedboat entered Cuban waters. When Cuban border guards approached it, crew opened fire. Cuba killed 4 of them and wounded 6 more. Pretty crazy. We don't know what's going on here. Cuba said that it's actually their people, like terrorists coming. But Marco Rubio is on it. He says, we're going to find out exactly what happened, independently verify, then respond accordingly. Highly unusual to see shout outs in open sea like that. Boats registered in Florida. I'm telling you, if this is American citizens, this will be the excuse they need to finish this Cuban regime. And so we might get Cuba as a territory sooner than later. The Trump administration is not messing around on this. And I got to tell you, Marco Polo here, he is of Cuban descent. He came from Cuban parents that escaped. He hates the Castro regime. Hates them. So if Marco's going to see an opening to do this is like his wet dream. And listen, Marco, the reason he wasn't trusted for so long is he was a neocon. Okay. But I always believed Marco had a good heart. He just seemed pure of heart. And the reason I say that is I was going to vote for him before Trump. And then I had my God talk with God. And I've told you guys this story before. God woke me up to what Trump's doing. But I've always had a soft spot for Marco as a result. And even when he was neoconish and I started waking up to how awful the neocons were, I was disappointed in him. But I tell you what, he was 44? He was only 2 years older than me back when he was running for president in 2016. He was young, still a young guy, right? And like a full grown man, but young. And I have a feeling that he got a wake up call watching what Trump accomplished. And I think he was a rising star in the Republican Party. He had a heart for Cuba and for freeing South America. And I have a feeling the neocons just sucked him up. and he probably was just taken in by him. And then Trump came and he saw his eyes were opened, because Trump trusts Rubio. And I got to say, Rubio has been very loyal to Trump the last 5 years. Very loyal. Trump trusts him implicitly. Marco Rubio has so far been the greatest Secretary of State we've ever had in his first year. He's incredible. So, all that being said, I believe like they're going to do this and they're going to do it right. And Marco wants this. He won't do it stupidly. He's probably been thinking of how to carry this out for decades. And with the Trump team, I have a feeling like they probably have a very good plan for this. And it's the Don Rowe doctrine, man. Get the Western Hemisphere back under our control. Get every bad egg out. And so I could see this being the opening they were looking for. By the way, I don't think it was a false flag. I know that's going to be the accusation. False flag so we could go to Cuba. Now, sometimes you're dealing with evil regimes. They just make mistakes or do something stupid that, like the Obama administration would just be like, naughty, naughty. And then to save face and then just let them keep being it. Same with the Biden administration or Bush. But this is the Trump administration. They don't need a false flag to go in. They're just going to deal with the people who are messing with us. And so that's what I think. Christina Abbott with the $7 donation. Thank you, Christina. You're so generous. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you. Lockfeld says, I trust Rubio. Amen. I agree with that. Thank you, Christina. Dirty says, Cuba will be Trump Island Resort. like Michael Corleone. Back Godfather 2 is all about Cuba, man. They were going to set up the stuff there before the renegades came in. So Linda says, I saw the boat was stolen. Criminals from Florida, they were going to infiltrate Cuba. That's what the Cuban story is. We don't know if that's the official story. So, Hot Roger says, fun for me now. I have to deal with stocks daily, being financial advisor for 14 years. Politics, my passion. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Text mom says, my mom didn't like Trump at all. She had the same experience with God literally waking her at night. She's banging out. Really? That's fascinating. I'd love to hear that story. My story was I was going to vote for Rubio. I thought Trump was interesting, but I wasn't in. And then I was having a meditation period, a prayer period. And I had my journal out where I record whatever like comes in my mind as I'm praying and stuff. And I heard God say, ask me about the election. So I did. And he said Trump was going to win. He's going to usher in a golden age for America. And I said, what? That's crazy. But I'd rarely heard God so clearly in my head. And so I wrote it down. And I knew Trump was going to win in 2016. And the rest is history. So that's wild, Texas mom. That is a wild story. Okay. Let's go to the next part. We got to talk a little bit about Epstein because this story is not going away, and nothing too crazy today, but we got to stay on it. We got to stay on it until all the truth is revealed, and we actually and it permeates because there's so many lies right now. They are running back right in the mainstream media right now. New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC. CNN, they are running back the Trump was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 1980. She came out. Dude, this story has been going on for 2 decades. It really surfaced in 2016 when they were trying to take him out before the election. Hillary thought it was going to be the story to bring down Trump. And then something happened. The woman accusing Trump was a drug addict and came out and said she made it all up because the case was moving forward to discovery and she didn't want to get found out as a fraud and get in trouble. So right before it went to discovery, she said, I made it all up. It's not true. She backed out. And now, because those files weren't released in this Epstein batch, the story they're running with is oh, the DOJ withheld these files, these accusations against Trump. This is old news, but they're trying to present it as new news. And it's just so crazy. But this is the hoax Trump was warning us about. This is the nonsense. And this is why we know people like Thomas Massie, Ro Khanna, MTG, they are trying to take down Trump using this. They are deep state assets who've been deployed. It's just so obvious and gets more obvious by the day. Ro Khanna, last night, remember I told you guys about this. Said Ro Khanna, the woman she was bringing, said she was like Heidi Fleiss, recruited girls for Epstein. I told you. Now Fox News is reporting it. This is why I do what I do. I'm not saying I'm the reason Fox News picked it up. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is because of people like me, because of our modern internet where the truth cannot stay hidden, where it will always come out, the bigger networks now are forced to pick this stuff up. And Fox, whatever you think about Fox, I know too much about Fox to like it, but I will say they know their audience is pro-Trump, and there are certain stories they cannot let go. Even though they don't necessarily like Trump, their audience does, and they have to report this stuff. So this is awesome that this is getting out there, because now you have an official story to point to with the Ro Khanna stuff. If anybody's like, did you know Ro Khanna brought a victim there? Oh my God, what'd that do to Trump? You'd be like, yeah, about that. Another one coming out. This is Pramila Jayapal, one of the squad, one of the crazies. I mean, they're all crazy on the left, but one of the real crazies. Hosting Majik Shatune, Epstein survivor and constituent, as my guest for State of the Union. Getting called out. Michael Tracy's doing great work right now, by the way, on this Epstein stuff. Adult Epstein survivor who claims to have had a grand total of one encounter with Epstein as an adult, after she went to his house with a female friend who was also accused of assaulting her, then buried the memory for 20 years until money floodgates come over. I've told you guys again and again, these victims, and I don't mean all the victims, they're clearly were real victims, 100%. That's anybody who says otherwise is crazy and stupid. Horrible things that happened. But most of those victims have already gone to court. Most of those victims got huge payouts, $450 million between JP Morgan Chase and the Epstein estate. Most of them are not pursuing anything else. They're just not. Whether because they don't believe anything will happen or because they got their money and they just want to move on with their lives. I don't know why. But these victims that keep coming up now with Ro Khanna, Massie, these Democrats, they're grifters. None of these women got paid out. Why? Because they weren't deemed to be valid victims. They applied for it, or they didn't apply for it, which is even weirder. These are the women who are teaming up with Reid Hoffman, who's one of the worst people in the Epstein files. Teaming up with them to make an ad for the Super Bowl. You just can't, like, this stuff is insane. And what's crazy is people will believe it unless we say something, because the psyop, the war, has to happen. There are fallouts more and more by the day. So we've had Prince Andrew arrested and his royal title taken away. Mandelson this last weekend, the Prince of Darkness, ambassador to the U.S., one of the biggest financial people in the UK, close ties to Keir Starmer, their prime minister. He was arrested. And now we have Larry Summers completely resigning now from Harvard. Bill Gates just confessed having affairs with Russian women and flying on Epstein's plane. This is all starting to come out. Ex-Norwegian prime minister investigated. He's the one who gave Obama his Nobel Peace Prize. How disgusting are these people? They're all so inbred. It's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy, this stuff. And then this came out today, which just made me happy. I know this isn't Epstein, but I gotta show it. This is the first attack ad against Thomas Massie from his opponent, and it's pretty good. I think they run stuff like this and got Trump pushing. I think we might get rid of Massie this year. And Massie's scared, by the way. He's been doing all kinds of fundraiser stuff that's like, dude, that's desperate. Jumping in with Democrats, appealing to their side. It's crazy.
Thomas Massie voted against finishing President Trump's wall and deporting illegal aliens. And Massie opposed Trump's plan to ban taxpayer-funded sex changes on kids. Now desperate Massie is smearing a decorated Navy SEAL. President Trump has endorsed Captain Ed Galrine, a combat veteran, a fifth-generation Kentuckian, a conservative farmer. Captain Galrine will advance the America First agenda, and that's why he's endorsed by President Trump. A decorated Navy SEAL, taxpayer-funded sex.
See, you guys know the ad against Kamala Harris where it said Kamala Harris isn't for you, she's for they, them. That was considered to be the most effective ad run in the campaign in 2024. So if they can link Massie to being okay with sex changes with kids, that can crush you. That can crush you real big. So we might get rid of him, which would just make me so stinking happy. And then people are starting to wake up. Bill O'Reilly on Chris Cuomo, left-leaner. This is, it's not mainstream yet anymore. This is the podcast circuit. But I'll tell you, Bill O'Reilly's still got a big name, like him or not. And if he's starting to say this stuff, it's starting to spread. Let's listen to Bill real quick because he gets it. He's actually seeing what's really going on here.
All the Democrats have right now, this is the only thing they have, is Epstein. That's all they have.
And the economy.
And I'll prove it. Right after.
Did you see Chris try to inject in the economy? No, they don't have the economy. It's changing fast. Everybody's starting to get their tax breaks, man. That's changing quickly, and it's going to really be changed by the midterms. So, but he's still holding on to hope, like, oh, we got to hope the economy. But no, Bill's absolutely right. All they have is this psyop crap, and Epstein is the main one.
Right after the State of the Union ended, I switched over to CNN, reliably Democrat. What were they talking about? Epstein. We're talking about the economy. We're talking about foreign affairs. We're talking about any of that with Epstein. That's all they have. And that's going to backlash against the Democratic Party.
Yep.
You wait and see.
Why?
Because it's overdone, number one.
Yep.
And number two, after all of this time, there isn't a shred of evidence linking President Trump to any illegality.
So Bill O'Reilly is 100% correct here. 100%. See, the Democrats are doing what they always do, which is overplay their hand. See, the Epstein stuff was effective at first because the way it happened, they were able to say, they're covering it up. It looked really bad. Okay. And listen, I understand why Trump and Bondi did everything the way they did. I do understand it. Like I told you, Trump was always going to rug pull him, and he did. So I was right about that. I understood it. I'm not saying they always did it the best. Words could have been more wisely chosen. They could have explained things a little better. They could have slow walked instead of these forceful things that just look shady. It could have been handled better. Okay. It could have, but that doesn't mean they were wrong in general, the way they handled it. It's just, they made mistakes, but the Democrats capitalized on that so much that they're not getting anything out of it anymore. There's no more juice to squeeze for them. But they won't let it go because they, like O'Reilly said, they don't have anything else. So if they keep holding on to this and more people keep paying attention, eventually it'll just become noise. Because again, they're trying to link Trump in it again from a 10-year-old story. They got nothing. But they're going to keep at it because oh, it worked. What else are we going to do? But what's going to happen is eventually they'll tune out the Trump part. The people will. Eventually they'll say, can you guys just talk about something else? Like, who cares? This isn't going anywhere. And the other part is the more they keep it in front of everybody, the more everybody's going to keep realizing, they never could tie Trump to it, but what about Bill Gates? What about Reid Hoffman? What about Steve Bannon? What about, it's all going to bring down mostly Democrats and then influencers, the MAGA psyop crowd. When I brought up earlier today, just a little bit ago, the whole Emerald Robinson thing, this great reporter, what she never brought up once? She's never talked about the Steve Bannon stuff in the Epstein files, which is overwhelming. I covered it for hours and hours on my show. Why? It's that network, man. It's that network. And they deploy only when it's time. So that's where we are with Epstein. It's starting to fade. It is. But there is this lingering story out there, which I showed you guys the other night, of what's starting to come out from the storage units. That could be very interesting. So as we get more, there'll be more cycles, but I'm telling you, I have a feeling the worst has already happened for Trump. And the more they stay on this, they keep people's attention. See, the best thing for them to do right now, knowing that Trump's not in it, is to leave it alone. Run away. Because with attention on it, now, if more comes out, everybody's watching with bated breath. Oh my God, they got more. Instead, if they just let it go and all this bad stuff comes out of Democrats, it's a lot easier to bury. But not when there's attention on it and they're keeping the eyes on it. And that's another reason it's going to backlash, which Bill didn't mention. But I do think we're going to get some explosive stuff out of these files that were hid in these storage units. It's starting to come. So exciting stuff. All right, couple last things before we go, guys, tonight as I finish up here. John Solomon just found out, and it broke this story, that Biden's FBI was spying on Kash Patel and Susie Wiles in 22 and 23. Guys, there's been a lot of attack on Susie Wiles and Kash, especially Kash this last weekend. Ask yourself this. If the Biden administration is spying on them, do you really think they're the bad guys? Kash just fired a bunch of agents today because they were involved in this. Ask yourself why they keep trying to tear apart the Trump team, and yet Trump holds on to them dearly. Trump had 4 years to vet his team. It's going to be very hard for any bad eggs to be in there. Trump knows exactly who he chose and why. So this is just more proof, as I see it, that they are good guys. And Kash is somebody very scary to them, and so is Susie Wiles. So interesting stuff there. So for those paying attention to the economy, there's more and more signs that we might get our market correction before the economy really takes off. Just as I've been saying, I expect to happen. Not predict, but expect. This is crazy. NASDAQ's hundreds put to call ratio is up to 1.2, highest since 22 bear market low. I believe the Dow at that point hit was it 22,000, something like that. This exceeds April 25 spike because of tariffs and any other reading over the last 12 years, excluding 2022. Put to call means people are betting on the stock market to go down. So we'll see what happens, but somebody might be in the know here. Just letting you know, just to be ready. But I've told you guys, I actually think it's a good thing. I think if the market crashes, at least temporarily, or has a major correction, it allows Trump to go in and clean house because it's already had its downturn, to clean house without backlash, and also to reset the market, because right now the market and the real economy are far apart. They're not moving together. This would give the reset to actually get them back together and clear out all the junk in the market, which we need. We really need that to succeed going forward. Unless they're going to do an extremely slow unwind, which is risky because it might take longer than the 4 years they're in there. So better to just rip off the Band-Aid, get it over with. So there are signs that something might be coming. And finally, I just wanted to share this because I thought this was really touching, and it just is a good reminder of who we're supporting here. Tulsi Gabbard posted today, "The quiet moments are often the most important. Last night, before cabinet members walked on the House floor for the State of the Union, we joined together in prayer, giving all thanks and praise to God, praying for the clarity and strength to listen to him, serve him in his will." This is the cabinet members, guys. We're talking Tulsi, I'm going blank right now. Sean Duffy, RFK Jr., Kirsty Noem. I mean, all of Trump's people before the State of the Union praying together. Listen, guys, for me, these are some of the main reasons I trust this president. What did Trump say last night? Said, bringing religion back. We're a nation under God. We're he referenced Charlie as he talked about it. This matters. The country that prays together stays together, man. This is what we want. We have a God-fearing Christian group of people in our White House running it. Not fake Christians, real Christians, humble, and look at the way they're together. We've never seen this before. Usually cabinet members mostly hate each other. They're all trying to one-up each other because they all just want to be president someday or something. This is incredible. This is a team that loves each other, has each other's back. And the fact they're doing this, I mean, they prayed together and then we saw the best State of the Union ever. Prayer works. It matters. This is what's going to change our nation. These are our leaders. So just absolutely beautiful stuff. And the way Tulsi wrote it is just so touching too. Praying for the clarity and strength to listen to him, serve him, and do his will. What do I pray every night, guys, as we close? We pray for wisdom, which would be the clarity. We pray for boldness, which would be the strength. And we pray for protection over these people. Well, they're praying for the same thing. So that tells me we're all on track here. So, all right. Listen, guys, I'm going to come into the chat. We're going to catch up and then we'll call it a night. But before we finish, please hit that like, hit that subscribe if you enjoyed tonight's show. Thank you guys for supporting and watching, especially you members. Thank you so much. If you want to become a member, get in the description and click that link to Patreon. You'll get a free month to try it out. Yeah, with that said, let's say, hey, let's see what's in here. Dirty Red says, Comex says no silver for March deliveries. Force majeure could come any day. Holy cow, that's wild. Trish Cole, President Trump's sharp instincts. He's aware of the human condition, governs accordingly. I trust this man. Amen. Ray Sandoval, what's up, man? Says, love the updates. Thank you so much. Rumdog, left so repetitive with some stories because you never know when someone hears it for the first time, called the Hannity approach. Well, yeah, repetition is important. Any good marketer knows that. It's not just the left, but you're right about that too. They overdo it. Can I read a script from Book of Psalms? What script are you looking for? Do you have one in mind? Trish says, contrast between right and left is so obvious. Yeah, I mean, we're God-fearing and they're not. That's honestly the most important thing when it comes down to, Dirty says, read story, Trump might force the banks to expose legal aliens' bank accounts as invalid. Yes, Genius. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. So many good things are happening. MH says it's coming apart. Mexican blanket in the wash. I love this stuff. So good. You guys are so funny. Jay Cornett says, what are my thoughts on Andy Bashir and James Tellerico? Both complete frauds. So Andy Bashir a hardcore lefty who gaslights us all that he's a moderate. He's not. He's just he's got that ick factor to him, a little too meta for me, a little too much of that gay vibe. But Bashir's a joke. He doesn't have what it takes to become president. He's not cutthroat enough. He'll lose easily in the primaries. Tallarico, he's the new Beto O'Rourke. Okay. He is the Democrats' wet dream is to win Texas. They want that Senate seat so badly. And so they found a guy in Tellurico who's white and well-spoken, and they're trying to use him and platform him like he's the greatest thing ever. They did the same with Beto. Beto is a total fraud, but they platformed him as if he was the greatest thing ever because they just saw a guy who could carry their message and, wouldn't stumble over himself and knew how to lie. So, but Tallarico is nothing if he's not in Texas. They are so scared of Jasmine Crockett because she's going to be an absolute failure, but she's probably going to win their primary. So Tallarico probably won't even win the primary. But Jasmine Crockett's awful, and the Democrats know it. They don't want her to win. They hate her. They know she sucks. She's great in the House where she can have a little district of 50,000 people who are, they can gerrymander it to be all black people, and she gets in, and then she can raise a stink in the House and be one of their young stars. But as a senator, she's a disaster because that's a statewide election. And there's no way she's going to win a statewide election except in the bluest of blue states. And she's running in Texas. She's going to get destroyed, and it's going to be embarrassing. But she's probably going to win. But that's one of the reasons they're pushing Tellurico so hard. He's a fraud. He's a phony. There's nothing to him. So if we got rid of Massey, would that be massive? I like the play on words, but yes, it would be huge to get rid of Massey. It would show that you just don't cross Trump, because Massey has been the most effective person within the same party to put some egg on Trump's face, and it's just not going to happen. But I don't know if Massey will lose. He's a lot of support there, long time, but this guy's got a good shot. And if it happens, it'll be a shot across the bow that the Republican Party is almost fully purged from the House level. Still got some senators to do, and that's because they're every 6 years and staggered, so it's going to take longer to purge them. But the House is getting on track. Really good stuff. So, all right, guys. Well, love you. Hey, let's pray with the cabinet tonight up like this. So we always close on a prayer on this show because prayer works. It's very important. I believe God gave us a miracle with the Trump administration. He gave us answer to prayers that we've been praying for decades. Myself, people much older than myself. It's just been a lot of prayer poured into this nation to save it. And God answered us with Trump. It wasn't what everybody was looking for, but God rarely answers prayers the way you think they'll be answered. He just does it the right way, not the preferred way. And what I also believe is seeing stuff like this, guys, there's no effing way we lose. We keep praying. They keep praying. God, when he starts something, he finishes it. And so as long as we're still praying for this stuff, we're going to get our win. So, Lockfield says, Massey has to know how opposition to Trump worked for Liz Cheney. Yeah. Liz didn't have his support but you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Ray says, here because of me. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you, man. D6, we'll pray for your family as well. Okay. Yeah. So sorry for your loss still. So, all right. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless everybody in this chat, especially people like D6, Lord, and his family for the loss they suffered. God, I just pray you're with them. And God, we know you didn't take a baby. That's just not who you are. Suffering happens in this world because of our sin and our failure, not because of you. You didn't, when you created the Garden of Eden, when you put Adam and Eve in there was no suffering. So what does that tell us? That suffering is not your will for us. Suffering came because we screwed up. and let it into the world. And so, God, suffering and death is never your plan. Death is an abomination. So it's not your plan. You can't break your own will, and death's not your will. As writes in Peter, God wills that no one should perish. And so every death is a tragedy, and especially an innocent life. And so, Father, we just pray for their family, that you help them through this time. You comfort them. And God, you help them to absorb the loss and understand how awful it was, but also know that, God, that child is now with you and will live a life, an eternal life free of suffering and joy. And as much as it pains them to not get to see that child grow and be with them, that and all the dreams they had to share with them, that child is still happy where they're at. And so, but be with that family and comfort them, Lord. And we pray that in Jesus' name. We pray, God, that also you bring back everything the locusts have eaten. So, God, that there would be new life that forms out of this, and new opportunities. Because, God, we can't control what we'll lose or what we'll suffer, but you do promise us that you turn everything for good in Romans 8:28. So I do pray, God, that they get that justice that you promise. Father, we pray for President Trump, his team, God, that you protect them, give them wisdom and boldness to carry out their mission, that, God, it would not be stopped, that nothing could stop it, Lord, that you would be in front of them in everything. And God, they would see it through to our country, so our country can enter a time of greater justice, peace, and prosperity than we've ever known. That America's best times are only ahead of us. That's my prayer. And I believe that's what you're giving us, God, on this 250th anniversary. So we thank you for that, and thank you that we even get this chance, that you saved us, you gave us another chance, our nation, and that we get the opportunity to leave a better nation to our kids and grandkids than we all saw. So we love you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Bless you guys. Love you. Have a great night. And I will be back again tomorrow. So take care.